That's weird, Corinne. What clock are you on about? I can't hear shit right now. Hey there, guys. My name is Nix, and welcome back to Steins Gate. Last time, I was going to say we opened up the other computer. No, we actually got into CERN, though, even further. We found that Jellyman's report. It was quite literal. I don't know what I expected, but I didn't expect it to be as literal as it was. Anyway, the ticking of the clock is like a hammer inside my head. It's past 2 a.m. I was going to say how much time has passed since we found the Jellyman's report. The window is closed, and the lab is silent but for the humming of the computer. We stare at the gruesome image displayed on the monitor, speechless. I was right. We're in too deep. I half expect guys in black suits and sunglasses to kick down the door and drag us off to a secret military prison. Better make sure the door's locked. What's going on here? Dara breaks the silence with a disbelieving whisper. They jellified someone? Upon hearing the familiar word jellified, I reflexively look at a bunch of bananas placed next to the computer. There's only one banana left. We didn't have a single successful experiment today, so none of them were jellified. But I don't think this is a mere coincidence. The jellified bananas produced by the foam wave, named subject to change, and the jellified corpses produced by CERN's experiments. They seem identical in nature. They're experimenting on people. Kurisu speaks calmly despite her grim expression. She doesn't even avert her eyes from the gruesome image. And this means they've created a time machine, doesn't it? Even if it's not perfect. I'm still in shock, so I don't quite grasp the meaning of Kurisu's words. This New York Times article is from 1921. 90 years ago. Look. Kurisu points to the part of the black and white photograph, her finger shaking slightly. The jellified corpse of a man. She's pointing to his shoulder, which has writing on it. Perhaps it was printed on his clothes. It's fused onto the jellified body, but you can somehow manage to read it. Yeah, it says CERN on it. With a number. CERN. So, CERN used the LHC to send someone back to 1921? Looks like they failed to keep him alive, though. Is that the only report? No, there's more. Looks like 14 people in total. More jellymen? That means more jellified people. More victims of human experimentation. I swallow hard. I'm awfully thirsty. God damn, where's my Dr. Pepper? I knew it. I take a cold Dr. P out of the fridge and wet my throat. Show me the others. Dara pulls up another report. Without being told to, Kurisu begins translating out loud. Jellyman's Report 9. Subject, Dan Straysky, age 26, Canadian. Set Program 4, date of experiment 6th of September 2004, T1410. Result, error, human is dead, mismatch. The newspaper clipping, I think it's in French, I can't read it. You can read the date though, January 1st, 2001. 31st even. The location is Pau, France, I guess. 2001. It's fairly recent. Pretty big difference from James McCarthy, who jumped nearly 90 years back to 1921. Darrow calls up a machine translation, giving us the following. January 31st, 2001. Collapsed male corpse discovered in forest outside Pau, France. Am I pronouncing that right? I don't know, I ain't French. Its left foot was fused to a tree trunk, and the body had jellified. Daryl goes to the next report. Gentleman's Report 8. Subject, Linda Hill, age 25, British. Set Program 4, date of experiment, 15th of February 2004, time 13:45. Result, error, human is dead, mismatch. October 2nd, 1972. The jellified body of a woman was discovered in the streets of Dharmapuri in Tamil Nadu, India. Nadu? Nadu? Nadau? I'm gonna go with Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu, India. There were signs that the body had been run over by a car. Daryl goes to the next page. Gentleman's Report 7. Subject, Michael Lang, age 33, German. Set Program 4, date of experiment, 8th of October 2002, time 13:28. Result, error, human is dead, mismatch. The article clipping is written in Japanese. Looks like a pre-war newspaper. May 24th, 1936. The corpse of what is believed to be a jellified human was discovered in the base of Mount... Oh, Christ. Hiei? Mount Hiei in Kyoto. It was in a damaged state, possibly from having slid down the slope. It even happened in Japan. I've never heard of this story before. It was pre-war though, so I guess someone born in the 90s like me would have no way of knowing about it. Next page. The picture shows a beach. Beautiful, but for the jellyfish-like body laying in the sand. He must have washed ashore. Gentleman's Report 6. Subject, Mark Hughes. Hughes. Age 30, American. Set Program 4, date of experiment, 23rd of August. I needed a moment to check which month the fucking 8th was. Date of experiment, 23rd of August 2002, time 12:52. Result, error, human is dead, mismatch. I know what I'm calling this episode. If I've not already called an episode previously that, I think I have. On July 1st, 1985, a strange body washed ashore on the coast of Streymoy, Faroe Islands. It appeared to be the body of an adult male, but its flesh was soft like that of a jellyfish. Some of the island's inhabitants believe it was the body of a merman. The inscription CERN was found near the body's shoulder, but CERN denies any involvement. Keep looking. I've seen enough. There are 14 of these people? The sites are spread throughout the world. What can we deduce from this? They must have sent them to these places. I don't think so. It's too random. There was something about Kerr black holes and gravity, right? Isn't that the cause? It is believed that due to infinite compression by supergravity, the subject could not endure passage through the Kerr black hole singularity. That's what it said. What's a Kerr black hole? Is it different from a regular black hole? It's a theoretical black hole with a rotating singularity. Their existence hasn't been proven yet. Not that there's any way to prove one exists. Kerr black hole. Where have I heard that term before? That's right. John Titor. Wrong voice. John Titor. Titor said his time machine used Kerr black holes. I smacked my controller against the desk and it skipped a couple messages there. According to Titor, CERN finished the time machine in 2034, and then Titor himself came back from 2036. It makes sense for Titor and CERN to be using the same time travel technology. Kurisu closes her eyes in deep thought. Creating Kerr black holes? That's insane. If you screw up, it could swallow the Earth. Besides, Kerr black holes are just theoretical constructs. Titus' prediction a reality, then that means the LHC worst case scenario video on YouTube was right. Ah yes, my favorite video platform, YouTube. Named that after the copious amounts of cat videos that are uploaded every day. That's gotta be it. I don't know about Titus' predictions, but I've seen the problem video before. It was on the news 2 or 3 years ago. The gravitational forces inside a black hole are unbelievably powerful. It's certainly possible that passing through one could allow the time displacement, but there's no way a human could do that and come out alive. That must be how these people got jellified. It wouldn't just jellify you, it would tear you apart particle from particle. That's what a black hole does. Before we discuss that, shouldn't we look through the rest of their time machine research? Dara's already started pulling up new documents. I'm suddenly afraid. Is it okay to keep hacking CERN like this? Should I stop him? I'm the one who asked him to do it, but things have gotten serious now. But at the same time, irresistible curiosity wells up inside me. Time travel is becoming a reality. I want to know that it's true. I can't stop now. Here we go. There's a file in the Z program that explains time travel theory. That was pretty easy to find. CERN should have better security. Their security's fine. I'm just too good. Daru is my favorite right arm. I thought he was your super hacker. Hacker! Oh Christ, no. No, not with the fucking physics diagrams. I'm having flashbacks to college, to university. And I did chemistry. So what does it say, Christina? This is in English too, so I have no choice but to rely on my assistant. Can you give me some time to read it? Kurisu's eyes dart left to right across the lines. Her earlier reluctance has vanished. It looks like she's as curious as I am. No way. But this is... Is Taito really? What are you muttering about? Tell me what it says. Oh, right. You know, this feels like one big joke. What do you mean? It's almost the same. The same as Titus' theory. Basically, the LHC smashes protons together at 99.999991% the speed of light. By doing so, they compare the compressor mass of 10 to the minus 24 kilograms into the extremely tiny space of 10 to the minus 19 meters. That's... off the top of my head. It's incredibly dense. In Japanese, please. 3 lines max. A small mass. Thrust into a narrow space. No, stop it! Daru's gonna get a nosebleed again. With great force. That explanation's too vague, and Daru's already aroused. I'm calling it for in the next, 2 minutes. We're gonna make that joke. That explanation's too erotic. Huh? What part of it is erotic? Ah! Shida, you pervert! Sounds like you have a pretty good imagination yourself. I'm not like you! Her blushing cheeks make her denial less than effective. Don't listen to this fool, Christina. I nearly slipped into the wrong voice there, but this is definitely a Lukako's dad. This is not Rintaro. Don't listen to this fool, Christina. Continue. What were we talking about? Thrusting with great force. Proton compression. Right. Successful compression generates a microsingularity, which... A microsingularity? Not a mini black hole? Same thing, essentially. A singularity is the core of a black hole. This process generates a black hole with 2 microsingularities. A black hole with 2 cores? Like a cowlick with 2 hairs? No, I don't think that's it. Explain with cute girls. Fine. Say there are 2 cute girls. Mick-chan and Crow-chan. Sisters of Moe. By feeding Mick-chan and Crow-chan with electrons, you can make them do whatever you want. Electric shock torture? This is some kind of a rogue, eh? So you force them to rotate at extremely high velocity. And then, theoretically, Mick-chan and Crow-chan transform into Magical Girl Ring Singularity. Cue stock transformation scene. Got it. I don't know why I called it a stroke transformation scene. That's another lewd thing entirely. Well, looks like these two have found a common wavelength. The resulting black hole exhibits what's called the Kerr effect. What about Kerr black holes anyway? You say they spin, but what does that mean? Exactly what it sounds like. I'm glad Daru's here. He's like the one speaking to the scientists where it's like, can you please explain this to the common folk, please? Not all of us have PhDs. I know I certainly fucking don't. But don't black holes usually spin? I mean, there's a whirlpool around the hole, right? The part that looks like it's spinning is just the surrounding matter being sucked into the black hole. A black hole is just a point where extreme mass causes gravitational collapse. Everything falls towards it. Since it's only a point, it doesn't spin. A Kerr black hole has a ring at its center, not a point. Think of it like this. Once transformed into magical girls, Mick-chan and Crow-chan's hearts spin like a ring inside their bodies, which is impossible for normal people. I'll pass on the Guru. Before, you said that such a black hole existence would be impossible to prove. What did you mean? A black hole has what's called an event horizon. Once you pass the event horizon, time and space switch places. Is that what happens? I thought they just ceased to exist. Time and space switch places? Right now, we can move freely through space and into the future, but we can't move even 1 minute into the past. That becomes reversed. On the other side of the event horizon, moving freely through space becomes impossible, while moving freely through time becomes possible. I can't even imagine what's that like. Since unrestricted spatial movement is impossible, you can never escape a black hole. For example, if Okabe jumped into a black hole, time for him would stretch to infinity. Since light cannot escape, human eyes cannot see the other side of the event horizon. Observing a black hole from the outside is impossible, so nothing about the inside can be proven. There is an exception, however. This exception is vital when you use a Kerr black hole for time travel. Get to the point. The Kerr black hole's ring singularity. Since it's spinning, it has angular momentum. Like I said, in Japanese, please. Didn't I already explain how the core spins? Just think of it as having momentum. If you keep giving Mick-chan and Crow-chan electrons, they'll rotate faster and faster.
And when their angular momentum exceeds a certain threshold, the event horizon will disappear, and the singularity will become a naked singularity.
Naked? You mean the magical girl costumes expose a lot of skin, right? When does the anime adaptation air? Kurisu and I ignore Daru's nonsense. Naked. You mean it becomes observable?
When the event horizon disappears, there's no more reason for time and space to change places, meaning that you can enter a naked singularity without being trapped. And then the existence of the naked singularity allows the principle of causality to be violated and the general theory of relativity to fail. The laws of physics are broken.
Can such a thing even exist? The negation of the theory of relativity and the principle of causality means serious paradoxes can occur. Didn't Kurisu say that earlier?
Nothing in principle stops Kerr black holes from existing. It seems inconsistent, but the math never lies. Since the principle of causality fails, it would be possible to travel to the past by entering a naked singularity.
John Titus said the same thing. So Titus' time machine is using CERN's technology. The Titus time machine was compact, small enough to fit into a car. The LHC is 27 kilometers long, and they managed to get it down to travel size in just 24 years?
One thing I don't understand is how they inject electrons into the singularity. Look, this is a picture of the LHC, but there's a strange equipment installed at the proton collision site. Looks like they call it a lifter, but just what is it?
Daru, have you heard of it? Lifter. I think I saw it in the Z program files. Wanna Google it? Daru opens up a browser window and enters Lifter into the search engine. We've got hits! About 422,000 results.
That many? I guess it's not a secret.
Could this be it? Ionocraft?
Ions are charged particles. Their meaning matches.
We click on the link that says... I never want to pronounce it Ionocraft, but I guess that's what it is. Ionocraft lifter. It takes us to a video. It looks like some dim garage. But it doesn't seem like anything secretive. Just a garage like you'd see in an average American home. At the center of the screen is a triangular shape made of some kind of metal. It looks about 10 centimeters high and about 30 centimeters wide. It's connected to some sort of generator by a thin wire. Looks like some really cheap equipment. That's all there is. Nothing else. After explaining something in a language that I don't understand, Russian maybe, the person filming in the video slowly turns the power on. And then it's floating. The silvery triangle floats soundlessly into the air. Then it remains stationary. That's an anti-gravity device.
Don't be ridiculous. That would be the breakthrough of the century. It's called an ionocraft, so it probably has something to do with electrodes and charged air.
Kurisu doesn't sound as confident as she usually does. We look up information on the ionocraft lifter. Lots of sites have detailed instructions on how to make lifters, but I don't know how they work since the sites are all giving conflicting theories. CERN is using this lifter technology. It's a vital component of their time machine. If they can manipulate a microsingularity's mass and gravitational field, then these things really are anti-gravity devices.
Well, under those exact conditions, I guess you might not be entirely wrong.
Incredible! My curiosity's grown more by the second.
it looks like CERN's having trouble adjusting their lifter. They don't have full control over the microsingularity's gravity, so they can't make a true naked singularity.
That must be the reason why the subjects turn into jellymen. Kurisu nods.
Since the singularity is still closed, the subject is crushed by its tremendous gravity. As a result, substances become fractalized. Let's go with that hypothesis. Of course, there's no way to be sure that that's right. It might take months to prove.
Kurisu shrugs her shoulders in resignation. So CERN's lifter is still incomplete. If Taito is telling the truth, then CERN won't complete their time machine for If Taito is telling the truth, then CERN won't complete their time machine for another 24 years. If we can complete the foam wave name subject to change first, then we'll have outwitted CERN!
You don't have half the equipment or funding CERN does. What makes you think you can solve a problem that they can't? This isn't that simple. CERN still hasn't figured out how to set up the subject's destination in time or space. That should be evident by how scattered the Jellyman discoveries were. We don't even know if this is all of them. There could be Jellymen buried underground or floating in space. Actually, I'm almost certain there are. There's no point in traveling through time if you end up tens of thousands of kilometers away from Earth. It's not practical at all.
Taito said they had a variable gravity lock system. You can use that to lock onto Earth's gravity and ensure he arrives somewhere on the planet's surface.
Taito's explanation on that point was vague. He mentioned having such a device, but he didn't explain how it worked.
But if you're only moving through time, won't you just arrive in the same location?
Of course not.
Excuse me, I need to see who this is. Oh Christ, Faris, what do you want? I was not prepared to do this voice.
Have you bought Phantasm's debut single, Nya?
One of you pointed out that those Nyas are terrifying. I'm not apologizing. I find cat girls unusual and slightly creepy, so I'm not gonna fucking stop.
It's the theme song of Rainet Kakaru, so it's really popular. Faris bought 5 copies, Nya. It's my duty as a Rainetter. Anyway, there's an important secret hidden in Phantasm songs. The key to unlocking it is... Oops, the bell's ringing, Nya. Looks like someone's here. Better go see who it is.
Do I want to reply to you right now? Phantasm, the theme song, are an important secret. I'm aware they are said to contain directions to the sanctuary, as well as prophecies regarding the end of the world. Isn't that right? Is this another part of Operation Stupidify Humanity? Explain. That band's vocalist. I feel strong resonance from her. You know, I hate to keep humoring Faris, but I'm gonna keep doing it until it gives me a bad ending. Why not? Because the Earth is always moving.
Right. Rotation and revolution. The Earth's rotational velocity is about 1,650 kilometers per hour. Its orbital velocity around the Sun is about 114,000 kilometers per hour. Meaning 1 hour ago, we were that far away from where we are now.
Whoa. When you think about it like that, we're earth-shatteringly fast.
And that's not all. The solar system is part of the Milky Way. The Milky Way spins like a giant whirlpool. There are various theories, but basically the Earth moves around 50 million kilometers a day.
How can she roll all these numbers off so smoothly off her tongue? I get that she's a genius, but it's hardly common knowledge. She been doing research on the topic? We've kinda gotten to a ludicrous scale.
By the way, the Milky Way is part of a large cluster of galaxies, which is itself even part of an even larger supercluster. And these clusters and superclusters might be moving too. If that's the case, we're moving even more than 50 million kilometers a day. The point is that setting the destination will require insane calculations, even if you only want to travel 1 second into the past. Doing it by hand is impossible. It might take years for a supercomputer to come up with a solution, just to get you to the same location.
And we have no choice. We need to find Tyler and borrow his variable gravity system.
Great idea. Go for it. For now, CERN is dealing with this problem.
After blowing me off, Kurisu goes back to reading CERN's documents. Dara and I aren't good with English, so there's nothing we can do but let her work. Dawn breaks. We stayed up all night again. Fighting drowsiness, I refill my mug with instant coffee. I've already lost count of how many I've had.
Okabe.
Kurisu hands her mug to me without looking away from the computer. I guess she expects me to refill it. Since when did I become her maid? Didn't she ask Mayuri for stuff like this? Mayuri's a professional maid after all. That said, Kurisu's the one reading CERN's documents right now. Dara and I can manage if we use translation software, but we're nowhere near as efficient as she is. Well, it's not exactly what I had in mind when I said we wanted to borrow her knowledge. It just goes to show that I was right to make her a lab mem. She's an asset for the lab. For now, at least, I should try not to upset her. I silently take the mug from Kurisu, dumping the powdered coffee and pouring hot water from the pot. 2 packets of sugar, no milk. Kurisu has already requested it the same way 5 times today. I mix it well and bring it over to Kurisu. She doesn't immediately realize I'm standing behind her, so I hold the mug in front of her face. Kurisu takes it without turning.
Thanks.
Her eyes never leave the screen. She's completely absorbed in CERN's research. Even though she was adamant when she called them traitors to scientists everywhere, she's not above picking their brains. I understand how she feels. I'm itching to know more myself. Dara's fast asleep on the sofa. His snoring's quite loud. Furthermore, it sounds like he has sleep apnea. I'm surprised Kurisu has been able to ignore it. Is she just that focused? I decided to watch some TV. As always, the news channels are all covering the I confused it. I called it Rakuten. Rakuten sounds better than Radican, but that's just me. News channels are all covering the Radican satellite crash.
5 days have passed since the satellite crash, and with the start of summer vacation season, crowds are gathering to get a glimpse of the satellite, which still has yet not been removed. I came from Nagoya. I wanted to see it.
That's a teenage girl, apparently. Oh god, please don't be... Oh, it's Part-Time Warrior. I guess I can deal with her. I forgot what I made her sound like. I've legit forgotten what I made Part-Time Warrior sound like. It was like... Mayuri, but not quite as high-pitched, but still way too enthusiastic.
I'm so... Yeah, what the fuck is this voice? Actually, I think this works. I'm so hungry. I had to skip breakfast again today. I don't have much money on hand. Are there any good places to find insects or weeds out around here? I could get by using my survival skills if I have to.
What? You eat insects? Hardcore. What kind of childhood did you have? I'm gonna keep asking until I get a decent answer from this crazy lady. Where was I? I drove all the way from Saitama. It's amazing. Where did that thing come from?
Yeah, I'm a high school girl from Chiba! Tourists from all over Japan are flocking to this location. In an interview earlier today, Michael Byrne, spokesman for NASA, stated...
Wait a minute. I was gonna say, I felt like that name was familiar. I feel like there was a Michael something or other in the Jellyman's reports we read. I could be wrong, though.
that no satellite has crashed in Japan, and that the satellite object was, in fact, not even a satellite. The satellite is currently under police investigation. No date for removal has been set.
Is it really under investigation? This could be another plot by the organization.
Good morning! Oh, wait, should I say good afternoon?
The door unlocks from the outside and Mayuri comes in. She has a convenience store bag in hand. There are various food items inside, but it doesn't look like they're for us.
Oh! The air in here is so thick!
The three of us probably look pretty haggard since we stayed up all night. But it's hard to put on a bright smile now that I know about CERN.
I'll refresh the air!
Mayuri opens the window wide. The sky's so blue it hurts my eyes. Large clouds listlessly drift on the wind. It's truly a refreshing sight. Mayuri's appearance makes Daru get up with a grimace. Kurusu also finally moves away from the computer, sipping her hot coffee while rubbing her eyes. I glance at the clock and then go to the center of the room and call for attention. Since all the lab members are present and accounted for, this is the perfect opportunity to hold another roundtable conference.
Roundabout confluence?
What's that? A meeting of lab mems. Have we ever done that before?
Do we even have a round table?
Not physically. However, it exists in the hearts of all lab mems. Am I mistaken?
Yes, you're mistaken. Don't go sticking things in people's hearts. Is there one in Mayushi too?
Of course there is.
Oh, that's good. But what's a round table?
And why a round table? You King Arthur?
I'm only a temporary lab mem anyway.
These people whine about every little thing. Anyway, it's a round table conference. Mayuri wasn't here last night, so first let's explain the situation to her. Can I take a moment? This picture is magnificent in all the right ways. Mayuri over there is adorable. Kurusu definitely needs some sleep, and yeah, Daru. I can't even see his face. I can already tell he's more busy looking at the TV than anything else. I tell Mayuri about everything we discovered in her absence, about how CERN is making a time machine, about jelly men, about how Men in Black might come to erase us for what we know.
I told you shouldn't do bad things.
Bad, you say? We are bad? Absurd. If we're bad, then CERN is even worse. They aren't satisfied with ruling a world. Now they want to get their hands on space-time itself.
I agree.
For some reason, Kurusu backs me up.
What CERN is doing is unforgivable. They're traitors to humanity, to society, to science. I guess.
She doesn't sound convinced. I didn't want to get Mayuri involved, but she's surprisingly perceptive. She'll find out even if we just keep it a secret, so it's better to just tell her. Anyway, Ragnarok can no longer be averted. The final battle with CERN is near. A large part of me is still afraid, but we've come too far to turn back now. We can't unlearn what we know.
Ragnarok? Norse mythology again?
Christina! I ordered you to investigate CERN. What have you learned?
I don't remember being ordered, but whatever. There are two problems CERN faces with time travel. First is their electron injection device, known as a lifter. Unless they get it to function properly, they can't make the curved black hole singularities naked. If you send a test subject with a singularity in its current state, the supergravity compresses them to micro level. Naturally, there's no way to survive. Second problem is they can't specify a physical destination. You can't choose where they end up after traveling to the past. That's why I'd say the 14 jellymen were the lucky ones. Over 100 human experiments have been performed since 2001. The remaining 80 or so people ended up somewhere they can't be found. Why can't they be found?
Do you know, Mayushi? The world is constantly moving. Its rotational speed is 15,000 kilometers per hour, and its orbital rotational speed is 114,000 kilometers per hour. Daru's tone is authoritative, but he's just relaying what he's heard from Kurisu last night.
CERN has been looking for solutions, but it's not going well.
So even CERN is having difficulties. Now then, have you learned anything that could help us complete the foam wave named subject to change? Kurisu stares at the ceiling in thought.
Well, I suppose you could call the LHC the world's largest microwave oven.
Of course! In other words, the foam wave named subject to change is a miniature LHC!
You might be onto something there.
I was sure she'd deny it. In fact, I thought she'd yell at me. But instead she agreed with me. It throws me off a little.
However, there are too many things you don't know about the foam wave. Why do the same phenomena that occur in CERN's time machine also occur in that tiny little microwave? Unlikely the LHC, this thing wasn't made for time travel. It was made to warm Mayushi's chicken! Well, yeah.
Since the Jellyman phenomenon occurs with the foam wave named subject to change, Mayuri's bananas must be reaching the Kerr black hole's ring singularity.
Makes a black hole? Yeah? It won't suck us in, will it?
If it sucked us in, we'd become Jellymen too.
We still haven't figured out the electric discharge phenomenon, all the conditions required to cause it.
During our experiments earlier, we were only able to send emails to the past during the discharge. Although it hasn't happened again, the discharge phenomenon could very well signify the injection of charge, that is, the electrons. And only when it occurs does the path to the singularity open.
Don't know the cause of the discharge phenomenon.
That's what we need to find out.
In the first place, the emails we're sending to the past are digital data, not physical objects. That's a definite difference from CERN's time machine.
No, we're doing the same thing. Who's to say digital data can't go through a singularity? I think it would be easier than sending something human-sized.
Well, I suppose that's true. You know, when you guys talk about email, it makes me think of folding a letter into the paper airplane and making it go zoom, you know?
It's more like a beam of light, like optical digital data. By the way, it's a pain to keep saying email sent to the past. Let's give it a proper name.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
What's that supposed to mean? You dare mock Hyoin Kyoma?
You just want to give it some oddball name, don't you?
How rude. Heed me! I shall name the phenomenon of email sent to the past as follows. The name shall be... Nostalgia Drive!
Confusing. Rejected.
Why you? Who gave you the authority to reject my ideas? You're just an assistant.
Then why don't we take a vote? All in favor of Nostalgia Drive?
My hand shoots into the air, but nobody follows suit. Have you forsaken me, Daru? Mayuri?
Christian's right. It's too hard for Mayushi to remember.
It's way too chuny, man. Traitors. Fine. Then let's hear alternatives. Don't tell me you reject my idea without having any bright ideas of your own.
I think it needs to be something easy to understand. It's an email that regresses through time, so how about retromail? What does retro mean?
Muri's busy eating her strawberry jelly. How can she eat that stuff after hearing about Jelly Man? Sounds like you have your answer, Christina. You said it should be easy to understand, but it wasn't that easy to understand at all, was it?
That's because Mayuri-san is...
Are you about to call her simple? Oh god, it's you again.
You don't want to know.
You know what? I forgot her voice earlier. I've remembered it now.
You don't want to know.
She will never tell me, even though I'm 95% sure that she is John Titor.
Never mind.
Were you about to say because Mayuri's dumb?
No! Christian, do you think Mayushi's dumb? I don't. I promise I don't, okay?
Somehow, Kursu manages to glare at me even while soothing Mayuri. I vote the male who leapt through time. That's too stiff. It's hard to say. It's better than your nostalgia expedalidocious nonsense. And mine makes a movie title reference. That's not cool. It needs to be cool. You're rejecting it for that?
Mayushi has an idea. How about back to the mail? I take a movie title and change the world to mail.
I already did the movie joke, Mayushi.
Besides, I think the meaning is a little off.
She probably meant mail to the future, but our emails go to the past.
It's not about it's not about the meaning. I took a movie title and changed the word to mail.
Either way, it's too long. And how about DeLorean mail? It doesn't even say what kind of email it is.
Hey, you don't have time for this nonsense. Let's just abbreviate to D-mail and move on.
D-mail is inappropriate. D-mail these days is inappropriate. You get a D-mail, you don't want anything to do with that post. But that's boring.
I don't care if it's boring.
Shut down. Kursu's influence in the lab seems to have grown significantly these past few days.
D-mail it is!
Mayuri, finished with her jelly, proclaims in satisfaction. Wait, when did Mayuri become the moderator? So, why does D-mail phenomenon occur? Because the path through the ring singularity is open. We've been over this already.
We don't know if there's actually a black hole of work here. It could be an entirely different phenomenon that just so happens to resemble CERN's experiments. It's dangerous to jump to conclusions.
Why so timid? But you want our time travel experiments to succeed. That's why we have to put our lives on the line to hack CERN. What we need to figure out is how to turn the phone wave, name subject to change, into a usable time machine. Do you really think that's possible? There is no think. Only do!
What, did you read that off a motivational poster? You're like the classic incompetent boss.
Damn you! How dare you insult the insane and mad scientist Yoin Kiyoma! Well, it's not like Okarin's the boss anyway. Indeed. I am the symbol of this lab, not the boss.
I don't know what you mean by symbol, but how do you plan to turn the phone wave into a time machine? Let's have details.
My plan. Alright, there is one thing. We've been thinking about an electrical discharge that happens at random, but I have a hypothesis.
Which is?
I look at my watch. It's past noon. Recall the conditions when it occurred, Christina. We experimented through the night with no results, but only one variable we overlooked. The simplest, most definitive variable of all. That is, the time of the occurrence. Check the times of the two previous occurrences. When I accidentally sent the first email to Darius' phone, it happened to be between noon and 1 PM. The second, when all four of us observed the email, it was 6 PM. So if we perform the experiment within that time frame, we might be able to reproduce that effect.
Let's try it right now.
Kurisu bolts into the development room, suddenly bursting with enthusiasm. Well, I'm glad to see she has her priorities straight.
Mayushi's banana supply is getting low. I gotta buy more.
Only one banana remains untouched. We got rid of the jellified bananas, and then we ate the rest.
Sorry, Mayuri-san. I'll go buy you new bananas later.
Really?
Yay! Okarin and Daru eat my bananas, but they would never buy new ones.
I'll be sure to amend that in the future. A bunch of bananas is a small price to pay in order to bring chaos to the world. Kurisu picks the last banana off the stem, leans under the table, and places it inside the microwave.
First, let's see if it'll become a jelly man.
She tries to get up and gloriously bangs her head underneath the table. Trying for the clumsy girl appeal?
It was an accident.
Kurisu gets up, blushing in embarrassment with tears in her eyes.
Put the microwave somewhere else. It's dangerous and hard to reach like this.
It'll punch through the floor if we put it on the table.
Christian! Pain, go away!
Mary pats the back of Kurisu's head, then sweeps her hands through her hair.
Thanks, Mayuri-san.
Kurisu pulls herself together, types on her phone, and activates the phone wave, name subject to change. The banana inside the microwave slowly begins to spin backwards as the timer counts down. Kurisu, who is peering into the microwave, suddenly shouts in surprise. The banana has vanished. At the exact same moment, the banana reappears on its stem, jellified. Whoa!
It became a gel banana!
Just as I suspected! The critical variable is time! I was a little anxious about the result, but it all worked out. I outwitted the impertinent genius girl. Now my position as symbol of the lab is secure.
Way to go, Okabe. It was so simple I didn't notice it.
Kurisu says with a slightly sulky expression. Your praise does you credit, Christina, but know that you're frustrated. But I know you're frustrated that you didn't think of it first.
Anyway, let's see if we can send another email.
Kurisu ignores my proud laughter and excitedly starts typing out a mail. I feel like my authority has been on the decline since that girl showed up. It's cool, man. You never had any to begin with.
Help me, you two. Okabe, sending an email to your phone.
When did I become her assistant? I grind my teeth in frustration, but I do as I'm told and insert my phone into the phone wave, name subject to change as slot.
What are you gonna send, Christian?
Murray presses up against Kurisu and sneaks a peek at Kurisu's phone.
It doesn't matter what it says. What matters is whether we can send it or not. Let me see. Okabe is an airhead.
Wait! You there, assistant! What are you typing?
We'll see. Ready? I'm sending it.
Dara's already set the microwave timer through the X86000. There's nothing inside, but the microwave still operates. The countdown starts from 120. This is where the timing counts. We know that we have to open the microwave door during the operation, but we still don't know when to send the mail. For now, we'll do them simultaneously. Kurisu readies her finger on the phone's send button. I grasp the microwave's door handle. Mayuri seeks cover. Starting the countdown. The microwave timer soon indicates 70. 3, 2, 1, 0! Kurisu presses send. At nearly the same instant, I open the microwave door. It's working! It's working, you guys! Lightning crackles in the air. The cushion underneath the foam wave names it to change collapses under the weight. The floor starts creaking. It's exactly like the discharge phenomenon that occurred before. We're gonna kill Sue's part-time warrior downstairs. We're gonna drop a microwave on her head, aren't we? The discharge lasts for about 10 seconds. After it subsides, we stare at the foam wave names it to change with bated breath. Luckily, it didn't break through the floor.
Did it arrive?
I disconnect my phone from the foam wave names it to change and check my mail. Kurisu stands beside me and peers at the screen. Airhead! There's an email here. 2 of them even, and they're written in English. The timestamps are from 5 days ago. Kurisu starts laughing when she sees the mail, even though she's the one who wrote it. The Okabe in the first one is obviously my name. But what does airhead in the second one mean? My English is shaky. Did she say my head can fly or something? Whatever. I may not know what it means, but I do know this. My assistant is making fun of me. But that doesn't matter right now. Christina. Did you send 2 mails?
No, I don't. I only said 1. Mayushi saw it too. She really only said 1.
But I received 2.
You're right. He even sent it in 1 sentence, but it got divided.
By the way, what does this word mean?
Why don't you look it up?
Guess she doesn't want to answer. That reminds me. The email from before was cut up mid-sentence too. Was it? Yeah, look at your history. I'm pretty sure I sent Okarin's a perv. Yeah, I got 2 mails. From the 24th. Okarin's a P. You're right. This one got split in 2.
I wonder what's causing it.
Maybe it's related to the jelly men.
Mayushi wants to know why it arrived 5 days ago. Good point. Didn't the last one also arrive 5 days before we sent it?
Yeah, it did. Is there some kind of rule for when it arrives?
Let's try sending more!
Mayuri's right. Now that we've figured out how to send D-mails, we should keep experimenting and collecting as much data as we can. Alright, lab mems! Battle stations!
He's at it again.
Our mission, to send as many D-mails as possible. Daru, man the X86,000. Your job is to observe, adjust, and gather information on the phone wave, name subject to change. Assistant, keep those mails coming. Try various patterns of text. Japanese, English, full width, hard width, emoticons. The actual messages don't matter. I'm sure Shining Finger would be better for the job, but since she's not a lab ma'am, I'm leaving it to Kurisu.
What about Mayushi?
Your mission is to go shopping. Just buy some bananas for now. I, Hyo and Kyoma, shall fund you.
Wow! You're so generous! So I guess your job is operating the microwave.
Whoa, you say the easiest job for yourself? No, my assistant's judgment is sound. The key to a successful D-mail is most likely the correct timing of the opening the microwave door.
I was just kidding.
Leave this task to Hyo and Kyoma! I shall open this door with precision, boldness, and delicacy, as if it were the flesh of a beautiful woman.
Oh, Korean, that's naughty!
No!
Furthermore, the current operation is top secret. You must not leak it to anyone, got it? Didn't Mayuri open the window while we've been yelling? Mayuri nods. The others are ignoring me. Now I shall give this operation a name. It shall be known as Up.
Don't need one. Let's start.
What? But you ruined my climactic scene. Darn you, assistant. This is an outrage. Jesus Christ, this sky. It's a bit bright for my liking. Well, I'm gonna leave this episode off here. We actually managed to get the fucking thing to work. Who would have thought that? Oh boy, it's a downward spiral from here, surely. Because once you start doing time travel, only bad things happen. Look at the nonary games. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this episode of... I almost fucking said this was Zero Time Dilemma. No, it's not. It's Steins Gate. I haven't played Zero Time Dilemma in maybe a month at this point. I don't know. Time is fucking weird. But yes, thank you for watching this episode of Steins Gate. If you like the video in any capacity, give the video a like down below. Leave a comment on anything you feel like you want to let me know. I feel like as I'm just responding to all these texts, as I say, I'm assuming I'm doing a good. I don't want to ignore most of these people, if only because they're very well written. I will state that right now, up front. All of these characters, thoroughly interesting. I need more Lukako in my life, though. Other than that, if you want to keep up to date with whenever this series airs, or either Somnium Files, which is the other series I run in the meantime, you can subscribe to the channel. In theory, YouTube sends you alerts as to when I post videos, but, I don't fucking know if it does though or not these days, so really all you're doing by subscribing is making me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, so thanks in advance. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I've been Nix, and I will see you guys next time. Laters!